In every city, there are stories whispered in the night, tales of men who walked between fear and fame. In Ilorin, capital of Kwara State, Nigeria, where tradition walks side by side with tension, a name once echoed through school campuses and streets like a war cry. A name whispered in fear, spoken with respect. Bayo Ajia. To some, he was a street general. To others, a ruthless criminal. To many young men, he was a symbol of power in a country where survival often depends on strength. This is the true story of a man who rose from nothing, built an empire of violence, tasted political influence, and died the same way he lived, in blood and brutality. Bayo Ajia grew up in Ilorin, a city that looked peaceful on the surface, but underneath was a pressure cooker waiting to explode. He didn't grow up rich. He didn't inherit power. Like many children in the 80s and 90s, he grew up in a Nigeria shaped by military rule, poverty, and political storms. But from an early age, Bayo showed traits that made him stand out. He had charisma, the kind that could turn followers into loyal soldiers. He had fearlessness, the kind that makes a young boy fight battles twice his size. And he had ambition, the kind that never sleeps. But in a society where power often comes from the barrel of a gun, those traits had only one place to grow: the world of cultism. Nigerian universities were, and still are, battlegrounds for secret confraternities. By the time Bayo entered that world, cultism had already evolved into something fierce. No longer just campus brotherly, but organized groups with weapons, hierarchy, and deadly missions. Bayo didn't join quietly. He rose quickly and violently, not because of connections, but because of fearless brutality and strategic cunning. By the mid-90s, he became a leader within the feared Eiye confraternity, a group known for calculated killings, initiation rituals, and dominance fights with rival groups. In Ilorin, the name Bayo Ajia started spreading like smoke from a burning building. Some called him a protector. Others called him a killer. What was certain was this: Bayo Ajia was no longer just a boy from Ilorin. He was becoming a figure of terror. What makes a man dangerous is not just strength, but the loyalty of those who stand behind him. Bayo commanded loyalty like a warlord. He settled disputes with fists and machetes. He protected those who paid him. He punished those who crossed him. His cult grew. His connections expanded. Murders were linked to him. Street clashes were blamed on him. And yet, in the twisted logic of the underworld, his reputation made him even more powerful. With fear came influence. With influence came opportunity. And soon, politicians began to notice him. In Nigeria, politics and street power often walk together. In 1999, during elections, the streets decide more than the ballot boxes do. Politicians realized that a man like Bayo, with boys at his command and violence at his fingertips, was a weapon worth having. And so began Bayo Ajia's second life: political thug, enforcer, protector, executioner. He worked for political big names, including former governors. His job? Break up rival rallies, intimidate opposition, secure votes by force, create fear where needed. For every assignment, he gained more connections, more protection, more money. And in the underworld of Ilorin, his legend grew even darker. But street empires don't last forever. And for Bayo Ajia, the beginning of the end came in the early 2000s. A brutal murder was traced back to him. One killing too many, one case too public. In 2004, the Ilorin High Court delivered a shocking judgment. Bayo Ajia was sentenced to death. He appealed. The Court of Appeal upheld the judgment. The Supreme Court confirmed it. The street king was now a condemned man. For many, it was justice. For others, it was a political move, a way to silence a man who knew too much. But Nigeria is unpredictable. Years after his conviction, Bayo Ajia received a state pardon. The decision shocked Ilorin. How could a man condemned by 3 courts walk free? Some said it was politics. Others claimed he had powerful friends. Whatever the reason, Bayo returned to Ilorin. Older, quieter, but still feared. He opened a car wash business. But a man with his past can never truly wash his hands clean. Not even in a car wash. Some believed he wanted to live peacefully. Others thought he was regrouping for a comeback. But the streets never forget. And the enemies he had made over the years had been waiting. In January 2016, broad daylight. Bayo was at his car wash, laughing with friends, unaware that death had just arrived. Suddenly, a vehicle pulled up. Masked gunmen jumped out. In seconds, the air exploded with gunfire. Bayo Ajia was hit multiple times. He fell, the same way many men had fallen before him. And the king of Ilorin's underworld took his final breath on the concrete floor of his own business. He died instantly. The attackers disappeared into thin air. The police launched investigations, and the case didn't stay cold. In 2018, a man named Abolaji Safti Ojulari was arrested. He confessed. He admitted involvement in 10 murders, including Bayo Ajia's assassination. It was a revenge hit, a score settled after years of bloodshed. Bayo's death left Ilorin shaken, but not surprised. Some celebrated, others mourned. His loyalists disappeared into the shadows. His political relevance evaporated. His empire crumbled. And Ilorin moved on, scarred, but relieved. What do we learn from the life of Bayo Ajia? He was a product of a system that rewards violence, a man shaped by poverty, polished by cultism, and empowered by politics. But in the end, the same streets that crowned him killed him. His rise was loud, his reign was feared, his fall was violent, and his story remains a warning about power, politics, and the price of living by the sword. Tell us in the comments, was Bayo Ajia a victim of the system or a creator of his own destruction? If you found this story insightful, like this video, share it, and subscribe to the channel for more real-life Nigerian street stories. Until next time, stay safe, stay sharp, and stay aware.